Let's take a quick look at some of the very small revolvers that are designed to shoot the .22 long rifle and .22 Magnum rimfire cartridges. Now, I'm no historian, but I am a big fan of these little revolvers, so the information I'll give you here is to the best of my knowledge. Now, if you know any information to fill in some of the gaps, please let me know. I'm always interested in learning more about these. Now, at first glance, these revolvers are going to look pretty similar, and there's a good reason for that. They all share a pretty interesting history, as well as some interconnections. Now, lots of little revolvers have been attempted throughout history, but all of these modern mini revolvers can trace back to the late 1960s to the famous firearms innovator Dick Casull, who we know from the .454 Casull cartridge and some of the finest large caliber revolvers made. He's also responsible for some of the smallest, and in the 1960s he filed patents for this mini revolver in .22 short, well, one that looks pretty similar to this one, and created a company called Rocky Mountain Arms in Las Vegas, Nevada, to sell these little mini revolvers. Later in 1978, he teamed up with Wayne Baker, and they created Freedom Arms in Freedom, Wyoming, and offered these little mini revolvers, which were quite popular. They patented the first belt buckles that we're so familiar with these small revolvers. They also had another model with a longer barrel that they marketed as a boot revolver. Freedom Arms eventually became more famous for their large caliber revolvers and eventually discontinued their mini revolvers in about 1990. Rocky Mountain Arms eventually became North American Arms, and North American Arms was purchased in 1976 by an aerospace manufacturer called Tally Manufacturing, and they moved the manufacturing to Newbury Park, California. Later in 1978, they moved the manufacturing again to Provo, Utah, and then in 1984 they moved yet again to Spanish Fork, Utah. In 1986, the company that owned North American Arms was bought by another corporation called Teleflex, who eventually sold the North American Arms portion of the company to one of their own employees, Sandy Chisholm, in 1991. Then in 1994, Sandy moved the manufacturing again back to Provo, Utah, and it's remained there to this day. North American Arms has taken on the manufacture of the little mini revolvers and continued to innovate them, bringing the standard yet kind of dated .22 Magnum revolver up to date with easy to acquire sights, easy to grip, overmolded rubber type of grip, and some aggressive styling. You've also got other features like porting and beaded sights. They continue to innovate with new designs like the brake top, which unfortunately was too costly to manufacture at a reasonable retail price, so it was discontinued, but that didn't stop them, and they've recently come out with the Sidewinder, which is a side opening cylinder, swing out cylinder, and hopefully we'll see this one in production if enough people are in demand. They also have things like this black powder or a cap and ball .22 Magnum. So instead of using standard cartridges, you use a percussion cap, black powder, and you stuff a bullet into each cylinder. And because this isn't a firearm, it's the same rules and regulations as any black powder rifle. Now, although North American Arms really has the market on these little revolvers, there are some other options out there. One is the now discontinued Charter Arms Dixie Derringer, which was started in 2002, but unfortunately discontinued in 2011. These are available in .22 Magnum as well as .22 long rifle. Most recently, we see BC Engineering with their BC Special, another well-engineered and executed little mini revolver. This one with the titanium nitride finish, which gives it that gold color. Another reason all these revolvers look so similar is starting back with the original Freedom Arms in the 1970s through some of the original North American Arms, the Charter Arms, Dixie Derringers, and the BC Specials. All of these revolvers are built on the same frames, supplied by Jerry Babber, who's famous for owning the AA-12 automatic shotgun, which is an interesting interconnection between all these revolvers. So I hope this was some interesting information about these little revolvers. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, use the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.